How's it going, friends? Right now I'm at University and Vermont Street. All up and down University is just a ton of really interesting shops, restaurants, bars, clubs, and it is very much the commercial hub of the Hillcrest neighborhood. Hillcrest is a very nice neighborhood, a lot of very beautiful homes, really cool sort of amenities in terms of these shops, and I don't know, just a very independent kind of feel. That said, you got some corporate presence here, but we'll get to that. This video is a virtual tour on Hillcrest, San Diego, one of the best neighborhoods in San Diego, and I assure you there will not be a better video anywhere on the internet. Let's get it. How's it going, friends? My name is Jesse Lynch, and I run the hardest working real estate team in all of San Diego. We're called Welcome to San Diego. Check out our website, welcometosandiego.co. But this YouTube channel is all about helping you find a place to call home here in beautiful San Diego. And that is whether you are moving here from another city, another state, another country, another planet, or just buying a house for the first time. First-time home buyers, relocations, that's what we do, and that's what we do better than anybody else. So if either of those things appeal to you, do us both a favor, subscribe to this channel, click that little bell to get notified, give the video a thumbs up, and say what's up in the comments. We appreciate that very much. And as always, if you're thinking about moving here to beautiful San Diego, do whatever you can to get a hold of us. Just shoot us an email. Maybe you have a little more you want to say. Shoot us an email, info@welcometosandiego.co, as in co, as in company. Okay, but anyways, right now I am walking through a section of Hillcrest that is particularly beautiful. And Hillcrest has a few of these where they're just gorgeous homes, and I don't know, it's hard to explain beyond that. Hillcrest is a really great neighborhood. I think you're gonna love it. I'm excited to show you around. There's a lot going for it. All right, no more rambling about it. Let's just check it out. Virtual tour, Hillcrest, San Diego. 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, y'all, I'm back on University. Before I was quite a bit that way and just on the other side of the 163. Now I am approaching 6th Avenue. The Hillcrest sign is right back there. It's gonna be small because this camera's so wide. But this is sort of, again, the heart and soul of the Hillcrest neighborhood as far as the shops and restaurants and bars and clubs and all of that. And there's a huge diversity. Diversity just feels like it's kind of king here. Specifically, Hillcrest is the LGBTQ plus center. It's kind of the center of that whole scene. There's going to be gay bars. You're going to find the Pride Parade, the massive Pride Parade is going to take place in Hillcrest. And just about everywhere you go, you're going to find, rainbow flags and just Pride elements all over the place, and sort of diversity signage all over the place here, as that is a huge part of it. And not just the gay community, but different ethnic communities, as far as you're going to find all sorts of global foods, and that inclusivity expands, well into the sort of global food culture. You're going to find Vietnamese, Himalayan, Thai food all over the place, as well as just different cultural foods up and down this university, and then maybe kind of speckled throughout, but truly this university is where the lion's share of all of the sort of cultural happenings are, if that makes sense. So if you're looking for maybe a thrift store, antique store, independently owned furniture store, or just, you know, an independent shop that's sort of a one-of-a-kind, Hillcrest is going to be a really good spot for you to find that. And beyond just, you know, being a place that you can come to experience culture, it's a really great place to live. Beautiful houses, like historic old houses in beautifully manicured streets, and yeah, it's just, they do a very good job here taking care of the area and sort of taking care of the neighborhoods. So specifically talking borders, you know, to the north you have the 8, to the east you have Esteban Bahena Memorial Parkway, I think I say that right. To the south you have Bankers Hill and Balboa Park, and then to the west you have Goldfinch and Raynard, I believe. It's a weird line. Anyways, you're less than 10 minutes to downtown San Diego or the airport. It's like 3 miles. It's a thing of beauty. You're like right here. It's probably the Whole Foods I frequent more than any at this point, but that's beside the point. Hillcrest has a population of right around 35,000 people, but it's a pretty good landmass, so it's not going to be as dense as like a downtown or anything like that, but it is quite dense. And you can see behind me, it's definitely being built up, right? Hillcrest, there's a pretty good amount of stuff, new stuff coming in that's going to be, you know, 4 stories or more, and that's going to add to the density, but I think it's also going to just sort of add to the walkability, right, of this area, which it already is super walkable as long as you're close to university. Fundamentally, none of it's too crazy. You're 3 miles from the airport, so if one so desired, they could probably just walk to the airport, which is crazy, and pretty much nowhere else in the country, I think, has an airport like that. Hillcrest was voted the #1 best place in San Diego for young professionals. #1, that's pretty cool. And yeah, I see it, I get it. I think that makes a lot of sense. One thing I love, it's gonna be hard to tell right here, but you're gonna get old buildings like this, sort of, I don't know, French, Italian inspired, and then across the street, you know, they're putting in a new build. So there's this cool diversity of architecture here as well, and that's something that I really like. Not too cookie cutter, actually not cookie cutter at all. Cookie cutter is probably the last way that I would describe Hillcrest. As far as schools are concerned, the schools here, you're going to be served by that San Diego Unified School District, which generally gets, I think, an A- across the board, but there's so many schools within that district that I feel like you can hardly judge the area based on the district. But the schools here are good, generally quite good. The schools that serve the Hillcrest area specifically all have pretty good ratings. Basically, high-tech high school gets an A. There's also a high-tech media arts and a high-tech international school. And then for middle school, you're gonna get Roosevelt Middle School, which gets a B, but then you go back down to the elementary schools and you're talking Florence and Bernie Elementary School, both of which get an A-. So generally quite good. And that's according to niche.com, for the record. I don't have a grading system for schools. It's not really what I do. One thing I noticed, I forgot to mention, you're gonna have really slick access to the highway. That right back there is the entrance to the 163, and you're also pretty close to the 5, so definitely have a lot of very slick access to different areas, to downtown, etc., to the beach, dare I say. And then as far as home prices go, you're gonna see a median home price, like a sale price of all homes across condos, townhomes, single family, of around $660,000 here in Hillcrest. But I would say the condo and the sort of smaller home sort of skews that, makes you realize that if you want a single family home, you're definitely spending probably 900K plus. But you know, in fairness, not this like area doesn't necessarily require a single family home. It's very much about the lifestyle that you get here, that walkability. And so, you know, the condo lifestyle here in Hillcrest could be super, super desirable for a lot of people. Again, it's ranked #1 best place for young professionals. So maybe a single family home with a yard and 3 bedrooms, you know, just isn't the most important thing for this neighborhood. But you can get them here, and they are beautiful. The single family homes here in Hillcrest are gorgeous, and just give you a taste of what it's like living here in Hillcrest, San Diego. Let's go for a ride. All right, y'all, right now I'm in a neighborhood that I think is a good example of some of like the more dense lifestyle that you can find here. There's gonna be a few sections that are gonna be more classic single family homes, especially kind of out in the southwestern corner. There's some with like insane views. And you're gonna be able to find them kind of sprinkled throughout the single family home thing. But there is a pretty good portion of Hillcrest that's very like apartment-y, but not necessarily high rise, right? Like that's not a particular high rise. Back here you can see one, I think that looks like maybe a 7-story-ish, maybe 8, 9, 10. But yeah, then you're gonna find, you know, smaller sort of 3-story apartment buildings, maybe a single family home, maybe townhome, you know, a couple little condos or something like that. But yeah, I think it just shows the diversity of the housing stock, and it's really cool. Like I don't know, it's very charming. This house is nuts. Yeah, good job. It's a beautiful house. So anyways, we're talking pros and cons of what it's like to live here in the Hillcrest area. I'm gonna say first pro, yeah, maybe a lot of the reason that a lot of folks are trying to live here or moving here or whatever is the sort of nightlife in the way of shops, restaurants, bars, clubs, that kind of thing. For example, I think if you lived here and you know, wanted to go out to eat or whatever, wanted to go on a quick date night or something like that, you could just go down to University and just, I don't know, walk or drive to University, and you would find something that you wanted to eat and a place that you wanted to be with an ambiance that you wanted to enjoy. These houses are awesome. I love like this old historic sort of mansion vibe, and then kind of across from the street here you got a more of a craftsman, historic but not necessarily like mansion thing going on. And then single story apartment building. I like that. I like that diversity. I like the walkability. I like just the vibrancy that brings, which I think is going to lead to my next pro, which I'm going to say is basically the diversity, the inclusivity, and basically just the melting pot culturally that it is. I think that's a huge reason a lot of people are moving here. Obviously, the Pride Parade and the gay bar scene and that whole thing is going to be a big attractor for a lot of folks. And beyond that, you know, even if you're not going to gay bars, there's just so much sort of culture and art and, I don't know, just hipness here that a lot of people are gonna be going for. Next pro I'm gonna say is the schools. The schools here are great. Within the San Diego Unified School District, which gets, I think, an A-. It seems like everything is right around that serves the Hillcrest area. All, you know, I think B+ or B, I think, was the lowest grade that I really saw. But again, I say this all the time, just make sure that the school that you want is serving the address that you end up, or that you have an option to open enroll if that is in the cards. Next pro for me, I think I'm in a really good spot to make that explanation, is just how well maintained the area is. Whether you're talking the single family homes or you know, like these little neighborhood areas, like an awesome little pizza place just like right there. So cool, such a vibe, and just well maintained, full of character. Obviously, even this road I'm standing on just got redone. It's cool. And then also, I think this is a good example. We're in a bike lane. This is kind of my next pro. It's very bike friendly, very walk friendly, very scooter friendly. Yeah, if you don't have a car, not going to be the end of the world. You don't need one to get around here. You know, naturally got the beautiful weather of San Diego, and combined with, you know, a pretty solid public transportation system and well done roads as far as bike lanes and that kind of thing goes. I'm actually going to piggyback on that a little bit and go to my first con, which is that, yeah, okay, yeah, it's walkable, it's bikeable, and that's great. I'm a fan, but parking here is a drag. It can be. It's not always, but yeah, it can be a pretty big pain in the butt to find parking. You know, if you're going to university, not everywhere has a parking lot. In fact, most of it doesn't have a parking lot. So you're gonna be parking on University or on a street just off University, and it's a challenge. I found that the whole time I've been shooting this. Anytime I come, you know, to dinner or something in the Hillcrest area, it is always like, you kind of know, like, you're not just gonna find a spot right away. If you do, you hit the jackpot. So first con, parking is a little bit of a drag. I think second con is actually that the park space, not parking, but the park spaces, like the green spaces, the outdoor spaces, are kind of lacking here. There's not a ton of it. You get a little bit of park space that's sort of like adjacent to it, but within the Hillcrest area, if you wanted to go, you know, to a park, throw a ball around, throw a frisbee, play with your dog, whatever, in a park, is not much of it. You're probably going to have to leave the Hillcrest area to do it. Balboa Park, I suppose, is, you know, real close, but it's not in Hillcrest, and yeah, you're going to have to leave Hillcrest for the most part. Not a blanket statement. There's obviously a little bit of it, but overwhelmingly, I would say there's not a ton. It is not plenty. Next con I'm going to just say is that it's expensive. You know, the housing here is expensive. If you want a single family home, you're looking close to $1 million, pretty much no matter what. You might be able to get 900K, maybe the upper 800s, but you're not going to see a lot of that. Condos, you can get in for a little bit cheaper, but yeah, for sure, it's pretty expensive to be here. I don't know what the rent prices are here, and a lot of it is rental, so I'm sure that has something to do with supply and demand, that there's just not a ton of even homes on the market within the Hillcrest area. You can definitely find something, but for a single family home, you'll be paying, you know, 900K again, on the low end. Next con for me is going to be that there's like a little bit of airplane noise. It's not crazy. Again, this is like a little bit nitpicky, but some people aren't going to be into it. The flight path doesn't go like right over it, but you're really close to the airport. So depending on where you are in Hillcrest, you might just hear a plane taking off or a plane landing, but yeah, it's not crazy, but it's here. And I just, you know, I would be remiss to not include it. And then last con, and I don't even know that's really a con, it's just that it's busy. You know, like there's all this commercial space, and the area, you know, down by University, which is maybe, I don't know, a handful of blocks that way, is busy. It's just a lot of people, a lot of commotion, and it's not going to be for everybody. Personally, I like the vibrancy, I like the sort of action, but not everybody is going to, so I'm going to put that in there. All right, that's it for pros and cons. Let's head that way and check this place out a little bit more. Alright y'all, as we can see, I'm back in the shop. Usually I shoot this part in the area that we're talking about, but it appears that file became corrupted, so I wanted to get this video done and be able to get it out. So rather than going out there, I just figured I'd shoot it here, but I wanted to be able to get this video actually out and released, so I just thought, all right, I'm just gonna shoot it at the shop. Hillcrest, San Diego is an awesome spot. I'm a big fan of the area, and I don't know, it just seems like a very nice vibe, very livable area, so many like cool things to do, and just cute, right? It's well maintained and has a lot going for it. And if you're thinking about moving here to beautiful San Diego, we implore you to get a hold of us however you can. The two slickest ways: go to our website, welcometosandiego.co, and we have a contact form there. Fill it out, very easy. You'll reach out to us, we'll get back in touch with you, and we'll get the show on the road and get you headed in the right direction, get you headed to buying a house here in the San Diego area. The second option is to shoot us an email directly at info@welcometosandiego.co, and yeah, either way, we'll get in touch with you and we'll get you going, and we will get you on the way to living here in San Diego. And we look forward to helping you. We look forward to showing you around beautiful San Diego, California. And as always, as you exit the video, please do so safely. Subscribe to the channel, click that little bell to get notified, give the video a thumbs up, and leave a comment, any comment at all, specifically about Hillcrest or any other area that you're thinking about. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.